Let's just get into the pain. I'm in the way of his face.
You're putting in your body dead carcass, pain, suffering, fear.
Guys, we've been rewatching all the good ones. Guys, we've been rewatching.
Can I have...
Guys. Every time we get a bad video, I must get a scapegoat. Okay, today's scapegoat is Forget Trans. Guys, Forget Trans is the one who linked this, guys. So you can, guys, it's his fault. It's his fault. I just clicked it.
All of my vegans go into that pool of light, and my non-vegans in that pool of light.
Yeah, famous in, I mean, I guess 1.89 million subscribers isn't as famous anymore, but pretty damn influential. Reaches a lot of eyeballs.
First statement, taste plays a big factor in my eating choices.
Taste is... Guys, let me rectify this. Taste is the only thing that I compute.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge thing.
The only thing that what?
Let me rectify this. Taste is the only thing that I compute.
Yeah, I mean, that's a...
I didn't catch what he said there, but if he's saying that that's not the only reason people eat stuff, I'd say it's one of the biggest factors, but people also eat for health reasons. I don't know about you, but multiple times I've eaten things I just didn't want to eat, just so I could feel healthier.
A huge thing for me. I think it's one of my weaknesses, actually. Like butter, salt, it's one of my weaknesses.
I love food. And I think my relationship with food actually deepened when I became vegan. I don't think I appreciated it as much as I did before I was vegan. My name is Aubrey Davis, and I have been vegetarian for 24 years and vegan for 13 years.
I believe that humans are the top of the food chain.
I don't even know what that means.
No, me neither.
Is a human at the same level of equivalence as like a fish?
Right.
That's probably a big reason why I'm not vegan anymore.
Right.
Because I didn't see that I had to see myself at a moral equivalent of a fish, and it gets into moral questions.
Oh my god, I love how he's titled this "The Smartest Vegans," but that Carnis there just said the most ding dong thing I've heard in the last day or two. Actually, you know, I hear a lot of silly things. You don't have to equate yourself to a fish in order to also assign them basic rights to just, you know, not violate their autonomy or their lives, you know? You don't have to see them on the same level as you. You really don't.
Like, well, you know, why should we have a pet?
Guys, the food chain, is this like the squirrel gets eaten by the fox, who gets eaten by the bear, who gets eaten by this, by the mammoth or whatever? So technically the humans, I mean, yeah, we can't clap them physically, some of these animals, but we clap them with tools, whatever. So we are at the top of the food chain. We are objectively
the dog.
at the top of the
and
food
I think
chain.
the most important question
that's not even debatable.
Well, the food chain, though, I'd see it as more as like a natural system. And what we do, where we are forcibly breeding domesticated animals into existence, only to confine and kill them, it's very much different from a natural food chain. I guess if you wanted to stretch it out far enough, you could put that under the definition. But we're very far removed from what, you know, a tiger is doing to their prey. So I don't think the comparison makes sense. And given that we don't actually need to consume the bodies or secretions of other sentient beings, it's ludicrous.
Why should I love my neighbor rather than eat my neighbor? My name's Steve Michalski.
Why should I love my neighbor rather than eat my neighbor? Oh my. I love how people in the chat up here were saying when that person, the vegan, they were like, she looks crazy. Like, why should I love my neighbor rather than eat my neighbor? Would you, my dude, I think they're calling for neighbor eating. Yeah, your locally sourced neighbor. Hell yeah.
I was a vegan for a year. I was a vegetarian for 2 years. I'm a meat eater now. I've been so for over 5 years.
Like, I don't even see, like, what is like a food chain, you know what I'm saying? That's just some construct some guy made and put a little diagram and put us human beings on the top, so.
I don't think it's a question of whether we're at the top. I think it's a question of what do you do with that? If you have a more conscious energy than an animal, what do you do with that power? Do you choose to take a life, or do you choose?
Is he being ironic? Like, it's true. Like, say if we really want to say it's this natural system that we are part of, well then, you know, we'd be appealing to nature for other things, and we'd end up biting the bullet on doing some horrifically awful things that we've come to typically agree is morally wrong to do. I don't know. So when we weigh it up, you know, we want to think, okay, well, what, you know, who is harmed by this? Does this entail rights violations? Is this something that we can avoid doing, you know? And if, you know, these answers are yes, then it would lead you to think, okay, well, maybe we should come away from that. There are many things that we can observe out in nature that animals do to each other that are horrific within their own species and to others.
Live in.
Channel content city, perhaps you could give it a check. If not, I
You
understand.
have
Just thought
a
you
more
were checking
conscious
private link.
energy than an animal. What do you do with that power? Do you choose to take a life, or do you choose to live in love?
What?
I put a lot of thought
Why is he
into my
confused?
meals.
Yes.
Why is he-
The way
relatable.
Why did that confuse him? It was like, look, what do you decide to do with that? Like, in this knowledge, when you're a more conscious being, if that's the case, like, you know, are you gonna just kill others, or are you gonna choose love? I wouldn't put it that way, because it sounds kind of lovey-dovey, and that doesn't really compute with people. But I'd put it in a similar way, you know. Oh, if we're so much more superior, you know, we have the ability to advance, you know, to defy nature with modern medicine, with civilization, with law. You know, if we are able to do that, then are we actually going to prove that we're superior? Are we going to prove that we are so advanced and we can defy nature and actually, you know, follow a code of morality that considers the inferior, the vulnerable, the naive? Isn't that what a superior being does?
I don't really like cook or anything, so I don't really put too much thought into what I eat, I guess.
I live a fast pace, kind of like I'm working late nights or I'm waking up early, so sometimes it's easier to grab this quick processed sandwich, or I wish I planned my meals out more. I think I would feel a lot better.
I think it's really powerful, no matter what you're eating, to put your intentions into, whether it's prayer, invocation, and it's just such great power and presence versus just like scarfing something down, but like, can I just really be present with this meal, take my time and chew it slowly? So that's the first thing that I resonate with and what I do.
I would kill an animal.
Yes, if I speak, big trouble.
I think there'd be tons of contexts where I'd kill an animal. Like if a lion's going to go kill a baby, I'd probably kill an animal. I'd kill an animal to save a human life, and I get that vegans probably wouldn't do that.
If I could do something.
Like, the way she looked, like, he is just completely taking veganism out of context. I know vegans probably wouldn't do that. I mean, there's a lot of non-vegans who probably wouldn't do that either. People have a personal preference for, you know, what species of animal they like, all right? And it doesn't have to be a vegan who does that. I know plenty of non-vegans who are cat people, and they, you know, they love cats, but they hate humans, who would probably murk a human to save a cat. There's got nothing. Oh my God. Again, it's a fundamental misunderstanding that you have to, like, categorically believe that all animals, every single species, is on the same level. That's not, you know, necessitated in veganism.
A baby, I'd probably kill an animal. I'd kill an animal to save a human life, and I get that vegans probably wouldn't do that.
If I could do something to prevent killing them, besides eating them, like if I was protecting myself and we had like something that we could do to get that animal away, I would definitely try to not kill it. I mean, I feel
But if it comes down to you or the animal, you killing the animal?
I would.
Yeah, but if it comes down to you and another human, you'd probably kill the other human as well. That doesn't suddenly mean that it's then justified to exploit and kill human beings. Like, you're putting it in this situation and saying, oh, well, you know, if in desperation, if you had to save your own life, would you kill another animal? Like, of course, most people, for self-preservation, are going to save their own life. And a lot of people are probably going to kill a human being if it meant saving their own life. That doesn't suddenly mean that their moral framework justifies the exploitation and killing of humans. He thinks he's really smart, doesn't he? Like, not this one, the other guy. He really thinks he's making a point, and it's painful. It's a bit embarrassing.
I would.
No, they're going to give up their life.
Well, but there's no reason why they kill the animals. It's not only for eating, right? Sometimes because of certain problems with let's say with like fires or like water or flooding, they have to like rebalance the fucking overpopulation, safety.
Big juicer stream.
Sometimes the humans actually help though.
770.
Life for the fish.
I'm sorry, I don't understand his accent. I have no idea what he's saying.
Life for the fish.
Why is it always the extreme case when talking about would I kill an animal? Like
exactly.
He's saying we need to kill animals to help them. I mean, we could make so many instances where killing humans would help them. Killing humans would probably help with scarcity and stuff like that. It doesn't mean we should. It doesn't mean we should. And someone said overpopulation, though, Spell. So, you know, one of the most overpopulated species of animals would be, human beings. We don't want to be making the case for why we should start yeeting individuals because of overpopulation problems. You know?
If you were in this situation...
There aren't lions running around downtown LA.
When I was...
Point though.
Fish.
Why is it always the extreme case when talking about would I kill an animal? Like,
exactly.
If you were in this situation...
There aren't lions running around downtown LA.
When I was...
Like, I wish that, like... I know when you're there, you kind of miss out on saying the things that you want to say. I mean, I've never been in this kind of situation. I'd hope I'd do pretty well. I'd probably still kick myself, but I still would like just be, you know, I think what you want to do instead of go, we're not lions though, even though that's hilarious, okay, because it's true. You want to be like, look, you want to bring it back to humans and then get down to the fundamental basis of like what the difference is between a cow and a dog and a human. That would suddenly mean, okay, well, we can, you know, protect one, we can kind of protect the other and pet them as long as they're good boys, and then the other one that we'll yeet.
In the hiking, there's mountain lions that come and kill people. You've known that, right?
Yes,
that's in Orange County.
totally.
Right? That's not in the jungle in Africa.
It's not an everyday situation of would you kill an animal?
But it's Orange County. Mountain lions.
See, like, again, I would have just said, like, yeah, but you'd also probably kill a human to save your life, wouldn't you? It doesn't suddenly mean that we are allowed or morally permitted to exploit and kill other humans. So why is it in the context of another animal? That's what I would say.
Have killed hikers, kids.
Totally.
Would you just let them? No, let the kid die.
We're hiking in the mountains, and there's a mountain lion. I have to be aware of the fact that I'm in mountain lion territory and be like, I'm okay with the risk. Because to be honest, I'm not.
This is the problem. When we like have these kind of comments that aren't on the point, then you end up, you know, going on this tangent that isn't, you know, crucial to the point, and you've got a limited time to do that. Like, I would just try my hardest to just get to the point real quick, because now we're talking about, I accept the risk when I go out to a mountain lion territory. It's like, well, not too sure, you know, how much that gets down to the fundamental argument. I don't, you know.
Hiking with a gun. I have no way to defend my friend.
You don't hike with a hiking pole?
I mean, a hiking pole against a mountain lion?
I don't think you're winning.
I just want to
guys, I'm pretty sure guys, even the animals don't think like that. Like,
say, like, even if I did, and even if my attempt were to be successful, I would feel.
What do you mean even the animals don't think like that? He's hurting my brain, okay? It's confusing me. I just want to look at him and be like, mate, what are you talking about? What?
Awful.
Wait.
Guys,
even the animals, if they go into a forest or whatever, if you're like a rabbit, is it gonna be like, oh my, I'm about to be attacked. Oh, I'm just gonna let myself die because I took the risk.
Killed the mountain lion.
What point is that? Yeah. other animals don't live in human civilizations and have the choice to move between civilization where they're safer from, predators, and then go out in the wild and then be open to them and know that they made that choice. Like, what's that got to do with anything? This is why, it would have been better to just ask, well, you wouldn't do it in the human context, so why in here? So then we could get down to what he would probably say, which is, but humans aren't animals. Like, a cow is not a human. So we could get down to that. Okay, that's getting down in, through the skin. And that's where you want to be.
Your feelings are your foundation of your beliefs.
100%. Are human beings animals?
Yes.
Sure. Would you kill another human being?
Yes!
Recently got a partner that wanted to give something back, although it's not much. Merry Christmas, stinky man. Yeah, det är det, men det är hänga med men
Christmas, my little juices. I hope you're having a cozy holiday with your family and if
Save another human being.
family chat is here for you.
What makes one person more valuable to another? Is it your relationship to that person?
It would probably be.
So if, for example, I raise an animal in the wild, it's like
that's just society.
Like an animal I've built a relationship.
Why is he called this the smartest vegans? Like, when just dribble comes out of his mouth. It's just society. What do you mean? So if we were out of society or in a different society, something that we couldn't really consider a society, but it was similar, would it then be justified to exploit and kill humans? I'm getting confused here. Oh no.
Relationship with, and that animal now threatens the life of a human being that I don't know, but I've known that animal its entire life. What makes killing that animal as just cause okay as opposed to saving that life? I have a longer relationship with that animal. Why would I kill the animal before I'd save that person? Because it's about relationship.
You kill a person over an animal. That's
correct. Because I believe human beings are animals.
Now, I see humans at a different level, but maybe...
No, but they are animals, though. And to be honest with you, if this guy had, a dog, and they'd had them for 6 years, and there was this random stranger, they didn't necessarily like the look of that person, I don't know, maybe he would. Or maybe he'd just, betray his... Or maybe it's more the repercussions of, killing that human versus killing the dog. Don't know. But even then, I just wish someone, and maybe it might happen, would challenge him and be like, okay, so you see them on a different level, doesn't suddenly mean it's justified to exploit and kill them, just like with the human and the dog. He's showing it an example. He probably wouldn't kill a dog. He probably wouldn't pay someone to exploit, kill them, and then eat their bodies or do something with their skin. He probably would not do that. But he still sees them on a different level. It's funny how that works, huh? It's almost as if you can have all these animals and view them on different levels, view some more highly than others, while not paying for them to be stabbed in the throat. Damn! Ow! This just hit me, it's like an epiphany, like my brain, damn.
If you value fish at the same level as a person, we see it very different.
I do.
Oh man, so I know he's given his view, but I would have just even then say, I would have played to his field and been like, okay, well, same. I don't know how then, and I would have brought up the dog example that I just talked about, rather than just drawing a wedge and showing a clear difference in how we view things. There's already so much that's just, it seems like the vegans are so far away from the non-vegans when really they often view things the same way we do. Like the dog and the human example. Yeah?
It costs more than it should to eat healthy.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
Wait, what did you say? It costs more? Yeah, for 100%.
Yeah,
kidding me?
Definitely.
It's more expensive to eat healthy. I don't think it's too expensive. Farmer's market is something that I'm trying to frequent more. But sometimes, you can go spend $20 here and definitely not get as much I definitely want to see that. You know, maybe that'll encourage people to.
It's also pretty time consuming, in my opinion. I think sometimes it's not even about the price. It's just
eat a little healthier. If
time.
you can go grab.
Yeah, because if you want to eat healthily, you should be having a range of foods. Your palate should look, you know, very colourful. You know, you should have a quite a range of things, and you should, you know, be obviously, if you want to be healthy. I mean, eating healthily. I guess, you know, under that umbrella, you could say, well, you know, your calorie amount, making sure that you have enough, things like that. It's quite difficult to do, and it should be made easier for sure. Like, imagine, you know, a supermarket where you had ready-made meals that were healthy, you know, really healthy pancakes, or, you know, salad bowls that weren't ridiculously expensive. That would be much better, because you'd still have the convenience factor, but you'd have your healthy food, which would be so good.
Grab that fresh fruit,
time is money,
fresh veggies for $5.
Generally speaking,
bucks, you know.
I think our culture as a society is just ingrained towards like the fast food culture, which is cheap and accessible. But
yeah, well, that's lobbying and subsidies for you. These foods would be much more expensive if, you know, lobbying and subsidies weren't pumped into them. But we have, you know, Animal Ag to blame for that. Probably other things that I'm not considering at this present moment in time. But yeah, we should make a priority and a focus on healthy food. We should subsidize that, you know, so people can, you know, have a more convenient means of ensuring that they meet their health requirements. Yeah, I know, Chris. They wouldn't pick somebody who is like, unless they wanted it to look a certain way. I really doubt they'd pick someone who was well known for being very well spoken, very to the point, and, you know, just going through and destroying the argument. You know, unless we might see a surprise, you know, visit from one of the well-known vegan debaters. Maybe. I don't know.
But now I think we have more of a established like medical basis on what's healthy and what's not healthy. And to get that content and to have it be tasty as well is expensive.
I'm running it.
No, it's not, because say something like, for example, fried chicken, okay? A lot of people like fried chicken. So you could just get the batter and the herbs and spices, add less oil, don't use the skin and body of a chicken, and then like replace it with like seitan or pea protein or tofu, something like that. And there you go. It's not expensive to, you know, like herbs and spices, I'm pretty sure in most places are quite cheap. You know, it just, but to be fair, he did say he couldn't cook, right? Not saying the contestants aren't spitting facts, but they just feel picked to fit the typical Cardi's idea of a vegan. Not as, yeah, some people just aren't, you know, used to having the discussion, or aren't used to the pressure that they're going to be put under. So that's, you know, fair enough. Like, I think to this day, you know, considering how I am now 7 years on this channel, I didn't realize a couple of weeks ago, it became 7 years. Yeah, 7 years on this channel, been talking about veganism for a long time, but I'd still underperform in this situation in comparison to how much experience I've had. So I get it.
I have so much to say. It does not cost more money to be vegan. That is a myth. It takes planning. Yes, the convenience is less. Can you grab a hamburger at McDonald's? For sure, for 99 cents. But how much lentils can you buy? The issue is capitalism. Like, that is what is keeping us where we are. It's not that humans are smarter and they're gonna come up with this.
You know, it's just nice to see a vegan leftist rather than a non-vegan one right now. You know what I mean? I'll take it.
Technology. The technology exists. It is there. We can feed so many people. It is capitalism and factory farming.
And most of these companies that are selling us products.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, you can't, you know, if the world went vegan tomorrow, it doesn't suddenly mean that we could feed the entire world, okay? Because just distribution is an issue. However, tens of billions of land animals being fed crops, lots of resources like such as that food and water. Well, you know, of course, if we don't forcibly breed them into the picture, we're going to have more resources for ourselves. You know, we're going to have more land to use for ourselves.
Products that are like shitty food, they don't give a fuck about you
Yeah.
at all.
What I mean-
Period.
what I mean, it's
Someone sitting
actually-
on an island.
Why is it's actually true? Nobody asked. That was not the question. Nobody asked what are the fundamental, governmental, philosophical problems and flaws that make us eat the way we do. Nobody asked this, motherfucker. Somebody said it. Is it too expensive? Yeah, that's it.
Somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Like just stacking bread.
And they're
all
probably
this fast food shit.
eating really
Is he
healthy
okay?
food too.
Yeah, hell
And they're
no,
probably
no.
eating real good.
And
Probably
their
don't
own
touch
products.
it. Yeah.
They're not eating any of that shit.
You go to certain neighborhoods, certain areas, you don't see the same fast food. You don't see the same restaurants. And it's all for a reason. They know
Accessibility.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. It's like they don't have, why is there many health food stores in the hood? How come I can't
Exactly.
like get an option? Why is there a
Why is
liquor
there a
store
liquor
everywhere?
store?
Exactly.
And it's true, it's like you have to, when you break it down, there's like malicious intent to deharmonize and like lower the vibration of certain.
No, it did actually happen. 0 frames dropped. If it crashed, it's because of Twitch. Guys, one more thing, guys. It's also kind of dumb to say like the planning. I think it's kind of stupid. Say, oh, it's only about the planning. Planning can.
Wait, yeah, well, the thing is, so when we're talking about like being healthy and then, you know, adding, because the thing is, per calorie, sometimes things are going to be more expensive. So say you want like, if I buy a load of like peppers, tomatoes, peas, things like that, to kind of add range to my food, it adds up to all these things that I'm adding that have hardly any calories in them. But you can get high calorie things like rice, oats are high calorie, you know, potatoes are on the lower end, I think. You know, your nuts, your seeds, your dates, things like that. They are, you know, of higher calorie. When we like are focusing on lots of plant foods, a lot of them don't have many calories in them. So in comparison to your caloric intake versus the item that you're having, you know, it can become more expensive. But I don't eat, you know, peppers and tomatoes and all that for the calories. I eat them because it's like, I should probably put a vegetable in my body. Even though tomatoes are fruit. I know, nobody come for me, okay? But yeah, like, why say planning is kind of stupid? It is the case that when you bulk cook, vegan or not, you are saving money because there's less potential for waste. You've got something to hand that you can quickly heat up, so you're not tempted to then buy a takeaway. You can make it cheap. Some people really show their kind of privilege with when it comes to finances, because they're like, oh yeah, well, it is expensive. And you can tell that some of these people who say this shit have never had to really budget their food. They've never really had to go, oh crap, I only have £5 for the day. Or for the week rather. I've got to get my food, I've got no food. They've never had to do that. And it shows. It's just so annoying. Because it's like, you know, they're talking, you know, using low-income people as a shield. And they have no idea what they're talking about, unfortunately. They say it with the kind of implication of like, how dare you for being like, oh, low-income people will just have to go without. It's like, I'm sorry, but you clearly haven't been low-income, because you'd know that if you had been low-income, that's part and parcel with being low-income. You go without. You can't get the cake you want all the time. You can't, you know, get certain things. Like, that's an unfortunate reality of the situation that a low-income person's in, depending on how low that low income is, of course.
It's expensive, motherfucker. That's what they mean by the cost, but it's expensive. It's expensive of time.
Yeah, but if you plan out, like, so you bulk cook or bulk buy, then it becomes cheaper. Of course, planning out your meals will make it cheaper. I don't know what you mean. It's not just the price of the product that makes you save money. It's also because when you bulk buy, it's cheaper because then you don't have to go to the smaller shop that charges 50p extra for the same product when you need it. Like, you have to shop smart. Like, some people clearly don't know about the price differences, and it shows. Some people don't really have to look at the price tag before they buy things, and it shows. Like,
planning is expensive. If you allocate more time to it, dude. What are you gonna do? You on your bike? You're running out of energy. Somebody pulls out a fucking energy bar. Dude, you should have planned better, dude. You should have had fucking lentils in your pockets. You look at me.
Unironically, though, if you'd planned better and you didn't have to pay £2 for that energy bar, you could have had, you know, a salad made up, or a breakfast I don't know, breakfast smoothie or something like that, or you could have made your own breakfast bars that would have been cheaper. Ironically, you're kind of making the point that you can, you can get it cheaper if you're able to plan better.
Lentils, look at that. What the f*** is that?
People
What the fuck
in
is
certain
that?
areas,
Shut up,
and it's
dumbass.
like that's a
What
part
is
of
it,
it too. It's like, what am I contributing to?
True.
I'll say this, when I was 11 years old, my father passed away from his second heart attack. He was diabetic, he was pissing out of a tube. I watched him deteriorate my youngest years of my life for like years and years, just deteriorate, taking pharmaceutical drugs and just kind of basically dying
mom
slowly
passed too.
because of what he chose to eat. To me, I'd rather spend an extra $1 and eat organic or something healthy now and live longer than try to cut corners when,
I'm with you.
in
Like,
the
make
end-
the choice now instead of later.
In the
Because
end-
my mom was same thing. She
Yeah.
died. She was eating buckets of ice cream when she passed away. She died at 49 years
Yeah,
old.
there again, chat. I feel like life is all about yes. This is life philosophy. Life is all about balancing it. About balancing it. I would much rather, if I made choices that are like a little bit worse, but made me enjoy life more. I don't mind dying at 75 instead of 80, right? If I made choices that made me enjoy.
This is what's difficult. Oh, hello?
At this point, I'm just doing it to cause a disturbance. I actually do like salad, I'm just talking mess.
Well, it's working. This is what's annoying, though. This has become very much about healthy living, healthy eating, rather than veganism. Because look at the title, Vegan versus Meat Eaters, what is the right diet? Like, what meat-eating diet? There are so many meat-eating diets. There are so many vegan diets. So yeah, this has become away from, what veganism is, which is, a philosophy. Considering, the animals and, avoiding their exploitation and their killing. And now we're talking about, like, the way food contributes to people struggling from, disease. There are a lot of diet-related killers. And, this is an important topic, but it's not really on point. It's not really, so much to do with veganism as it is to do with healthy plant-based living, which is kind of irritating. That's one of the big issues with videos like this that barely even know what veganism is. I know. I just wish I could go on one of these. I really do.
Enjoy my life more.
Now. Choose now.
Yeah, you enjoy your life more, eating some crap and some, healthy stuff. Fair enough. It's your body, as long as you're educated on, what the potential effects are of each given food, as long as that's not being hidden from you and you're aware of those repercussions, then power to you. But unfortunately, it is a problem when those processed foods entail the rights violations of other sentient beings. That's the issue here. Yeah, the questions do suck. They're not catered towards what veganism is. They're catered towards more like healthy diet versus unhealthy diet, which is not what this is about.
Out there, just like stuff like this is beautiful. That's what I was most anxious about, is learning more of what I'm trying to step into. I don't know if I'll ever give up chicken.
The point is not the slow run to 100.
I'm just gonna
It's
be
not
honest
though.
with you. I don't know. I want to eat a lot cleaner chicken.
Do you guys have like cheat
Clean
days
chicken.
ever?
See, this is the problem. Then it becomes about clean eating. Like, I don't know what clean chicken means. Can someone tell me? Like, what is this shit? So, yeah, we've got towards the end, and it's not actually, the ethics of this have not actually been explored, which is disappointing.
Hell no. I am vegan 100% at the front line, ethical reasons, always, always, always. And that's why I don't think in 24 years I've ever gone back.
It was hard to try new things.
That's the point, though. If you actually go vegan with the consideration of what veganism is, then you're more likely to stick to it. You're more likely to stick to something if there's that moral conviction to do so. Oh, hell. Thank you, Will. The University of Oxford. Sustainable eating is cheaper and healthier. Global study shows vegetarians and vegan diets cheapest option in high-income countries. Oxford University researchers today revealed that, is that going to send me to it? That in countries such as the US and the UK, Australia and across Western Europe, adopting a vegan, vegetarian or flexitarian diet Could slash your food bill by up to 1/3. Vegan diets were the most affordable and reduced. Oh, pescatarian diets increased costs up by 2%. Those pescatarians. Is this it? Ah, this is it. Got it. Got him. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you for this. I'm going to have the fun job of reading through that. Okay, thank you, Will. Appreciate that.
Things I didn't like, found tons of vegan food that I was like, oh God, what the fuck are you people eating? And then simultaneously realizing that there was options, you know, there's always choices, and it's always choices we make. Like you said, you may never give up meat fully, but it's like you're making a choice. You're at least thinking for yourself and making a decision, and like that's all you can ask people to do, is think for themselves.
Not really, because if you ask people to think for themselves, people are going to murder. You want them to have a moral backbone. You want them to have an incentive to not do things that would entail the rights violations of other individuals. You know, the whole think for yourself is a really valuable sentiment until you realize that if left to their own devices, people are not currently set up very well to consider others. Like... like, it's not good. Okay. Yeah, you can indeed, I agree, Chris. You can ask people to stop stabbing animals. That is absolutely something that you can do.
I really appreciate each and every
Think
one
for
of y'all.
themselves.
So much. Thank you.
I'm gonna be honest, when this guy said that he would kill a human faster than he would kill an animal, it made me think that we shouldn't be thinking to ourselves that often.
Yeah, well, this is the thing though. Like in that situation, you've only got like you've got to save like one, kill the other. You've got to make that choice. That's not the, you know, left to individuals' own devices in a kind of ideal world where we just leave everyone to it. That wouldn't be something that would just happen out there in the real world. You wouldn't have that choice like pushed upon you. Kill one, save the other. Kill one, save the other. That's not something that's like has to happen typically. That's just to show, you know, that's a hypothetical to put it to the extremity, to force an individual to pick. That's all that is. I'm sorry, huh? If I had a wife, I'd pick her over some stranger. I would. It doesn't suddenly mean that I'm a danger to society and that I'm going to go out murking everyone who's not my wife. Do you know what I mean? Again, when we just analogize these things, when we just think about it further, it just doesn't make any sense, okay?
Really appreciate y'all.
Maybe we should slow down the thinking a little bit.
Thank you.
Are you serious?
Nice to meet you, ladies.
Wait, what? Slow down the thinking?
What's up, guys? I am.
Really appreciate y'all.
Maybe we should slow down the thinking a little bit.
Maybe we should slow down the thinking a bit? No, because if we slow it down, we'll be thinking like you, and I just don't want that. Quite frankly.
That is exactly what you said. That is exactly what you said. Is that not what you said?
Power and feeling better, and my health is extremely important. I feel
But if it comes down to you or the animal, you come and kill. Just let them.
Okay with the risk.
Say that.
Because to be honest, I'm not hiking with a gun.
He did say that, yeah.
I have no way to defend my to another. Is it your relationship to that person?
It would probably be.
So if, for example, I raise an animal in the wild, it's like an animal I've built a relationship with, and that animal now threatens the life of a human being that I don't know, but I've known that animal its entire life. What makes killing that animal as just cause okay as opposed to saving that life? I have a longer relationship with that animal. Why would I kill the animal before I'd save that person? Because it's about relationship.
You kill a person.
It's not. It's about society and its structure with the fucking laws. What right is wrong.
Over an animal. That's
correct.
Society, yeah.
Because
what right is wrong? Yeah, no, it's not. You've got to be careful when you appeal to the society in which you live for like what is right and what's wrong, because you know there are societies that still, you know, kill certain people for being gay. You know, like we have societies where like the things that we are doing right now, people may look at 100 years from now and think that was so horrific. He didn't make a point as well. Yeah, there weren't many points being made really anywhere, but especially from that guy who was reviewing it. He wasn't really adding any input. He wasn't making any point. And when he did, it just didn't make sense. So I rate that 2 out of 10. And I'm being very charitable. The irony of, talking about, oh, the smart vegans, and I'm imagining it was done ironically, when there's such ding-dongery at place. So, ding-dong, anybody home?